The rest of the community is in shock. Pokopia wasn't supposed to do this well. RGT85 told me it looked bad. Like, we thought that Pal World was going to dominate the scene. Like, so many people, like Christopher Dring, are coming out and making these statements, like, trying to tell you that, like, no. The game isn't selling a lot. It's not selling out of retailers. It's being undersupplied. Obviously, you're seeing this typical game journal spin, desperately trying to control the situation. But anybody who's like spoken to anyone who's played the game or played it themselves knows that there is no downplaying Pokopia. Not only is this the best Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive so far, it is also probably one of the best games of the decade and one of the best life sim, Minecraft, like Animal Crossing, like games ever produced. I think this is significantly better than New Horizons. I think this game is a really great breath of fresh air for the Pokemon IP. This is exactly what I was looking for. Something wildly different and creative and innovative. And I think is going to be the next step into Nintendo kind of dominating this genre, which traditionally was always something that was more of a PC thing. Again, we're kind of slowly seeing with games like Tomodachi Life, Animal Crossing, and now this, that Nintendo is producing better life simulators than the PC. Okay, SimCity can't compete with this. Okay, The Sims cannot compete with Tomodachi Life. And we're going to see this more and more as Nintendo grows and expands and grows their brand. Okay, like Animal Crossing New Horizons is one of the best-selling games ever now, and it's looking more and more like Pokopia is going to be a repeat of that success. And what's more, like all of the traditional tropes that were used to like downplay New Horizons, for example, people have this idea that New Horizons only did as well as it did because of the pandemic and not because it was a good game that people were really looking forward to. Okay, like they completely ignored the game still sells units today. You know, Animal Crossing New Horizons Switch 2 edition came out in January. Okay, it was the first major Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive this year, and it was something that like went completely off the radar, but is probably going to cause the game to sell several million more units. Okay, it's going to keep the game an evergreen title, not only on Switch 1 but also on Switch 2, which I think is something that a lot of people are really underestimating when it comes to these Nintendo Switch 2 editions of classic games. Like, you get a Nintendo Switch 2 edition, and what happens? You know, the game is on store shelves again. You know, people get to see it again. People get a new generation of people get to pick it up. You know, like, again, we're still in this mindset that these re-releases are a bad thing for Nintendo, right? That they're lazy, that they're pointless, that they're the same as, like, Sony re-releasing The Last of Us 3 times across 3 generations and on PC, and not producing any new games. Like, Nintendo's not in that situation at all. The reason why they keep putting out Nintendo Switch 2 versions of these games is because they know that they are evergreen titles that will continue to be supported, that are being sold to a new audience, and will coexist with other newer games. Like, again, it's remarkable to see like where we're at in the industry right now, because we were told that like there was nothing new coming out for Nintendo Switch 2 this year, that Nintendo needed the Nintendo Direct immediately, that there was nothing to look forward to, and yet we're in March now and we've already gotten like a number of bangers, a number of them. And what we're seeing now is the industry is just trying desperately to rally to find something to criticize when it comes to Pokopia. And the simple fact of the matter is, not only is this game very, very good, it's quite a bit better than industry standards like Minecraft, Grand Theft Auto, COD, The Sims, like basically all of its direct competition. I would not be surprised if Pokopia actually outperforms quite a few of those games. Like, it is going to be very, very interesting to see like the beginnings of Nintendo dominating the life sim genre. A genre that got its start on PC, that dominated on PC, that primarily had an audience on PC, now primarily being on Nintendo consoles. This is going to be a very interesting transition. It's going to be rather similar to how, like, fighting games were traditionally an arcade thing, and then slowly became more and more Nintendo focused as Super Smash Bros. Was introduced, and traditional fighting games started coming over, and then Nintendo put out their own fighting game, ARMS, right? Like, I think the same thing is happening with Life Sims, because you're insane if you think that Nintendo isn't going to make a Pokopia 2. Like, I would be shocked if this doesn't become, like, a staple game for them, if they don't, like, put out at least one of these a generation, because this is something that, like, I think is going to go down as, like, one of their most successful products ever. Like, I think Pokopia is going to go down as just one of the all-time great games, and now we're in this weird period where people are trying to make this out to be, like, not a big deal or overrated or not doing as well as, like, it's said to be, and that cannot be further from the truth. Like, we really do have to address this more, is that we keep seeing these Nintendo titles sell upwards of 20 million units and seeing, like, people in the community act like they're not a big deal and that, like, people don't like them. That, like, they're only selling because they're Mario or Pokemon or Zelda or whatever, right? Instead of acknowledging the reality that, like, these games are selling more than major AAA products at, like, a fraction of the budget and resources. Like, that's been the problem that a lot of these developers have been having. Like, this is something that I do think we do need to address and talk about going forward. This is something that I think we do need to acknowledge, is that Nintendo is winning, and the entire industry is doing everything it possibly can to try and deny reality. Okay, like, it's very, very interesting, like, what's been happening over the past couple of years, because we saw Baldur's Gate 3 get hyped up as, like, this Game of the Year contender and something that was, like, a Game of the Generation thing. I would not be surprised if Pokopia outsold it. I would not be surprised if, like, Super Mario Bros. Wonder outsold it. Like, Tears of the Kingdom did outsell it. But, like, we're... I am very, very interested in seeing just at what point people start acknowledging that Nintendo is, like, the market leader. Because, like, it's been true for a long time, since I would argue at, like, 2017 or so, that Nintendo has been, like, the uncontested, like, market leader for gaming. The entire, like, PS360 era of third-party developers putting out realistic games and getting hyped because of that's over now. And Nintendo's the only brand that puts out, like, wild, creative games like this. It's incredible. It is positively insane just what Nintendo has managed to accomplish with Pokopia.